So what are the points that would be like some people when they say that, okay, you are part of the intelligent design movement, along with other scientists and so on, but they say like you are driven by religion, you're driven by your belief, and they always say between brackets, it's like you are trying to do this because of your previous beliefs. It's not because of the religion, and it's non-stopper. It's non-stopper, sort of like the Big Bang. Like it's the end of everything, where you shouldn't just go and search for any proof, and you are just destroying science by this.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. Well, I, as you might imagine, I disagree with that. Certainly I'm religious, but it's the evidence that is pointing in the direction of design. As I tried to show with that cartoon of the man who was caught in the jungle trap, you can recognize design simply by the physical features of a system. And it's also the case that I myself used to think Darwinism was true. And then I read a skeptical book, and I started to wonder about it myself, and saw that, in fact, the evidence for it was much, much less than I had been led to believe. So it's not based on religion, certainly not for me anyway. It's based simply on the evidence. I mean, you can hold views about the world that are based on, sacred texts or so on. For example, that the world was created in the beginning by God. All right, yeah, I certainly believe that. But if you come up with a Big Bang theory, it's not religious just because it, seems to agree with the sacred texts. It's an independent line of thinking and evidence that comes to the same conclusion, but it doesn't depend on religion for the conclusion.
So it's sort of like some of the biologists, even the atheist biologists, they say we don't allow the divine foot to go through the door. They don't like to just have any implication that religion is true, maybe because of fear of religion, as Professor Thomas Nagel, he mentioned this in his book, The Last Word. He actually admitted that, and he said that I have to admit it. I fear religion. I don't want the universe to be explained in this way, in the intelligent design way. And he feels bothered that smart people, intelligent people like you, Dr. B, they are religious. He's bothered by this, and he feels like uneasy that how is it possible for smart people to be religious, and he doesn't feel like he's consistent with his views.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Thomas Nagel is doesn't want religion to be true, but you have to admire him for being intellectually honest. At least he says there's a problem here. I don't like where this is leading. I'll try something else, but I at least admit, it doesn't look good for my views. I'm happy with that. Sure, go ahead. It's the problem is the scientists who say no. If you talk about design, if you say anything that seems to have to point beyond nature to theological or philosophical consequences, by definition, that can't be science. And so only materialism can be science. And that's a philosophical principle. It's not a scientific one. No experiment showed that materialism is the only explanation for things in nature.
Yes.
But that's the world we live in. So you just have to learn to argue against folks like that and try to find ways that you can try to reach them at least, or at least people who aren't quite as dogmatic but are influenced by the materialist scientists.
We have the third way, I think, that has so many people and scientists.